Hey everybody, it's Brad.
And I'm Krista.
With the Big Family Homestead, and today we're talking about sprouted greens. Now, there are tons and tons of reasons why you're going to want to have sprouted greens in your home. There are many, many reasons we're going to talk about actually after Mama shows you the step-by-step and the actual images and how to do it for sprouted greens. But I think the very first reason is one of the biggest.
You can have a garden in your kitchen without any dirt.
Or sun.
Exactly.
Yeah, no sun, no soil gardening. As a matter of fact, not even really a lot of heat.
No, not really at all.
Yep, and the health benefits, we're going to chat a little bit about that. But for those of you who are anxious to see the process, here it is.
Sprouted greens are super, super healthy. They are super good for you. They are super easy to grow in your kitchen. They don't need light to grow, and they don't even need soil to grow. All you need is one of these, and some of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and take 4 tablespoons of these mung beans, dried. There's nothing I have to do to them just yet. Just gonna stick them in this jar, and then I'm gonna go put some water in here, about half of this jar full of water, and let them soak overnight. Now all you're gonna do is let this sit and let it soak for 8 to 12 hours, and then tomorrow we'll drain them off. All right, this is day 2. We have our sprouted grains. Now what you gotta do is a couple of times a day, run some water in here, give it a good swirl, and then drain it out really well. Put it upside down in one of these kind of containers. That way all of the water drips out and it's not sitting in water and getting really nasty. Now on the second day, what you're gonna start to see is these little tiny tails all coming out of those mung beans and any kind of seed that you sprout. Now these are not ready to eat yet. You're gonna wanna wait at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 days, depending on how big you want your sprouts. I'm hoping they'll get about this big with some green on them. Oh yeah, cannot wait for those in my salad. All right, so at the end of day 3, we transferred the seeds from our mason jar to trays like this. We put them in here, anything with a lid. That way it helps to retain that moisture. This is the end of day 5. Okay, now make sure that you don't close the lid all the way on here. You want to be able to make sure that there's air going in there, but you want to retain as much moisture into these containers as possible. And please make sure that you rinse this every day. Just flush this with water and then take your lid and just give it a good pour out. Okay, so now this is the end of day 5. And there's a lot of weight here. This was 4 tablespoons of mung bean seeds, and there's almost a pound of food in here. This is a lot of food coming from a very little amount. And it took up, quite a bit of water, and that's, this is really a lot of food. This is great.
Okay, so to see the growing of the greens, it's clear. You do not need a green thumb. Point is, no sun, no really soil.
Nope.
And you can pretty much do it in most temperatures unless it's like super cold.
And you really don't need any special equipment.
Nope. There is a list of stuff down below if you want like the hoity-toity, fancy schmancy $3 top. If that's your it does make life easier.
Classify that as hoity-toity.
The $3 top.
And the top does make things a little bit easier.
Okay. Now, talking just a little bit, why do you want to have these things in your life? We're going to talk a little bit about rabbits here for a second, because that's how we got started in doing sprouted greens.
Right. We started sprouting wheat berries, wheat grass for our rabbits and our chickens and actually our goats.
And it started out as us too, but we didn't care for it.
Right. We started to cut the wheat grass and to juice it, and it just tasted like grass.
Super good for you, but we were just babies.
It's super healthy for you, but we just didn't care for the taste. So we decided to continue to do it for our animals, and what we found was an amazing result. Well, the way it works, from our understanding of the research, is that typically if you feed a grain to an animal, it's like nearly an 80-20 split. Some seeds are different than other seeds, but basically
they're only going to get about 20% of the full nutritional value out of that seed once that they've chewed it up, digested it, and their body has absorbed it. They're only getting about 20% of that nutritional value. But when you sprout a green, when you sprout a grain, when you sprout a seed, you're going to get a flip on that. It's not 20%. You actually get 80%.
Exactly. So we decided to do that for our rabbits, and the results were great.
Well, for the rabbits,
and there was no waste, because the rabbits would eat the grass down, and then we'd take that seed mat and we'd give that to our chickens, and they loved that part.
now obviously each seed, each grain is a little bit different, but that fact remains that you get a vastly huge, bigger percentage of the amount of health nutrition that you will be able to ingest into your body if you go ahead and sprout the grains, however you want to put it.
You're right.
Now, the other thing is they just taste good. You know, Mama loves putting, what are them little things that you put on your salads?
Well, there's lots of things I put on my salad.
Twigs and berries and sticks, rocks sometimes.
I like the alfalfa sprouts on my sandwiches and on my salads.
And they have all kinds of different sprouts, guys. Everything from broccoli, which I have not tried. No. We love broccoli.
Love broccoli.
A lot of vitamins and minerals. Now the question is, what would a little baby broccoli taste like?
Well, I've read that it's a tad spicy.
Well, then I'm in.
You're in.
And you know
spicy.
what? Well, your taste buds have changed though.
Yes, I used to be very bland food.
In every way, food-wise.
Right.
Food-wise.
Right.
Trust
but
me,
now,
she can be spicy.
I really like to have a little bit more spice. Not like overkill spice where your just face is red and you're leaking from every orifice, but I like a bit more spice.
If you got moisture coming out of your face, would that be a fair way to say it?
Yes.
Some fluids coming out.
Right. Okay. Sure.
She's like, let's talk about sprouts. Can we talk about sprouted grains?
So anyway, you don't need any special equipment for your sprouted
Or any special
grains.
knowledge, apparently.
Nope, not at all.
Nope. All you really need is like a mason jar.
Yep.
And some grains to sprout.
Right.
And I was surprised at the mung beans. Mung beans are a superfood. Mm-hmm. And the more I study about these different grains, it's unbelievable to see. Now, this is another one of the huge benefits that I really want to drive home, is that it doesn't cost a lot of money. You can do this in an apartment in downtown Manhattan. You know, you can have enough sprouted grains extremely cheaply because you can go on Amazon and get like a big old mess of them by the pound, whatever it is you pick.
Right.
And they make mixed grain, mixes.
Right.
Or you can go, I'm just going to try this, or I'm going to try that, and see what you like. Because there are different flavors to them all, but the point is, it's cheap. I mean, to get started and get a mess of grains going, you don't even need to spend $10.
Yeah, that's about how much we spent to get started, because we spent the $3.95.
We got
for
the hoity-toity lid.
It's great for straining out the water from the jar. It works perfectly. You can use a cloth. However, the lid with the holes in it works perfectly.
Now, a couple things that I would like to point out that we had found that make a difference in the way that you're going to make these little gardens, these soil-less, lightless gardens. Now, keep in mind, one thing you don't want to do is overrun your mason jar or your tub with too much seed.
Right.
Grab the seed thing that we just showed them already. Grab the big tray.
The big one.
Now, we had been doing this in stages because we wanted to show you guys all the stages. Now, these are the mung beans.
Yep.
This was only 4 tablespoons of mung beans.
Yep.
4 tablespoons. Look at how thick this mat is. Mm-hmm. This is a ton of food. You can pick this off.
No, don't do that.
Rinse it off. And you can just keep on going.
You can put this on your salads. This will make a great salad.
Ooh, it smells really good.
Yeah. You can, that really does smell good.
I'm saying, it smells really good.
You can also stir fry these. I've been told these are great for stir fry.
They smell kind of nutty.
You're nutty.
Yeah?
They smell really, really good. Fresh. And just full of life. I mean, just look at it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You messed it up, the seed mat.
I had to show them.
I know.
So, but here, okay, tips on how to not mess up. We really should have put about 2 tablespoons in here.
Yeah.
This was too much. Because now you're going to have to pull it apart, which means you're going to mess up the root systems as you're pulling it apart.
But when you did pull that apart, it didn't tear anything.
No, it didn't.
It came apart relatively easy.
Boy, it smells good.
And you know what? This is a cheapo container from Walmart.
$1 or
You
less.
can get them at the dollar store. If you want to use a harder plastic, you really don't need to. But then we just kept the lid on here to keep the moisture inside. But these leaves are getting a little bit high, so it's pushing the lid up. But it's like a mini greenhouse.
Tips.
Yes.
Rinse often.
Rinse.
You don't want to have nasty bacteria growing in there.
Nope.
Rinse often.
Nope.
And the other thing is this, is if you know you've got funky water, use bottled water or use some kind of distilled water.
Yeah.
Because the problem is you're going to be putting that chlorine or fluoride or whatever it is in your public water system into those grains, into those greens that you're going to consume. So, number 1, it's not good for you. Number 2, it'll stunt the growth of the plant.
Right. Use reverse osmosis water, distilled water, spring water, but try not to use the tap water. It's got too much chlorine in it.
Crocodile tears do not work very well either.
No. Here's another one of our...
that was the ancient grains
This one was
mix.
the second one we started. Here's the other one. This looks really fantastic.
You're going to pull some
I'm
out?
going to pull the whole thing out.
As she's freaking out when I do it.
I'm going to pull the whole thing out
Oh,
so you can
jeez.
see
The
how
mat.
pretty that is.
Now keep in mind, this is day 5 for
Yeah.
this mix.
Yep.
You could pick at this and take off what you wanted.
Yep.
And here's another tip. If you want to slow the growth, put it in something that you can still drain and clean, but stick it in your fridge.
Yes.
Because it won't make it stop, but it makes it slow way down.
Yeah, it slows it down, keeps it fresh, and
It smells really good.
it smells really good.
We haven't had this mix, and she was actually skeptical. So this, I believe, is called the Ancient Eastern Mix.
Mm-hmm. And it had before we started growing the seeds, it had kind of a spicy smell to it. It smelled, I don't know, how would you describe it?
It just seemed like it was like peppery in a way.
There you
which
go.
is not, I mean, it doesn't seem that way now.
No.
But, and I will admit, okay, here, guy disclosure 101, dude disclosure. Okay, guys, this stuff is not dude food. It's just not. It does not look anything like chicken wings. It does not resemble anything like a cheeseburger or barbecue.
But you could put it on your cheeseburger.
Silence. I'm trying to exhort the men who 99% have left long before this portion of the video.
Sorry.
The point is, guys, we got to start taking care of our bodies, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're watching this video, you're probably sitting there going, maybe this is some way that I can get a little bit more healthy stuff in my life. And the answer is yes.
Yep.
Okay, so here, one dude to another, put some hot sauce on it, whatever, doll it up, dress it up, get used to it, and then start backing away from the stuff that you're using to mask it. It's true.
Oh, okay, fine.
Just because you like sticks and twigs and rocks and, gnarled bark on your salad does not mean I do. You see, I like, like 3/4 of a cup.
Iceberg lettuce.
I like 3/4 of a cup of blue cheese dressing and then maybe a piece or two of green in there.
I did not create that monster. You did that one all on your own.
Oh, sister, don't play all righteous, Miss Ranch dressing.
I like ranch dressing on my
She likes
salad.
it just as much as I like blue cheese.
I don't put as much dressing on my salad as you. I really don't.
Eat more salad, honey. So let me talk back to the guys, as you so rudely interrupted. Get used to it, dudes. You're going to need to. Trust me. If you want to live a little bit longer for your family and do the right thing, if you got to doll it up with hot sauce and stuff for now till you get used to it, do it. Suck it up. Stop being a whiner baby. It's true. Okay, other tips and tricks for getting more yield out of this stuff.
Stop that. Jeez.
more tips and tricks how to get more yield out of this stuff. We already talked about overcrowding. Mm-hmm. We talked about the watering. Mm-hmm. And we talked about that you really got to make sure that you're actually rinsing it off very often.
Yep.
The other thing, this is the other thing. Don't leave it soaking wet. Mm-mm. Make sure that you get. I mean, it's okay if there's water on the greens and on the grain, but not sitting in water.
Right. Don't leave any water sitting in the bottom. Strain off as much as you can. And generally, what we do is we'll just put the lid on it where it's just at the corner here, so that the seeds and plants don't come out. So that way we can strain off the water.
So there it is. Adventures in eating healthier.
It is an adventure.
But in all honesty, there are some that are great. Yeah. And some that I'm like, ooh.
It is all in your personal flavor.
That's exactly where I was going.
The personal taste that you like. So just kind of venture out there a little bit and try something new. No
soil.
No light.
No light. You got a garden in your kitchen no matter where you're at, and it's only going to cost you like $10.
Yep. Cheap.
There it is, guys. I'm Brad.
I'm Krista.
You guys have an amazing day.